Of all the Nightlords in Elden Ring Nightreign, Caligo might have a real contention for the most cinematic and aesthetic fight in the entire game. Beautiful, deadly, and oh so fun, this highly enjoyable fight will tug at the heartstrings of any Souls fan and remind us of all our weaknesses for amazing dragon fights. Bringing the strength to some of the original game's hardest dragon fights with a beautiful twist, this is one fight you'll want to experience, and best. If you're struggling with this fight, don't worry, we've got you covered. Here's our guide for the Fissure in the Fog expedition in Elden Ring Nightreign. Caligo is an ancient dragon reskin with similar concepts, attack patterns, and weak points. As expected, the ice dragon is weak to fire attacks, but note that he is resistant to physical slashing damage. Like most dragons, his weak point is going to be his head. However, it is tiny and a mobile target, so non-ranged characters may struggle with consistent damage during this fight. For your preparations, you'll want to keep in mind a couple of the following. Caligo has a decent amount of health, so you'll want to have a strong supply of fire affinity gear and the ability to hit a moving target. Poison and rot can also be of great benefit here, dealing damage even when he's covered in fog. And last, bleed is good for the first half of the fight. However, it'll not be able to sustain itself the full fight as the threshold for triggering it increases each time. Because of Caligo's susceptibility to ranged attacks, characters that can deal fire damage with ranged attacks are some of the best picks for Caligo. However, a team of ranged characters isn't recommended. Rather, an ideal team should have 2 ranged characters and 1 frontline tanky unit. Therefore, a team consisting of some of these characters is ideal: Recluse, Iron Eye, Wilder, or Raider. Note that Guardian might be a great choice for the tank required to best Caligo, but he really suffers in mobility at times and cannot guard against Caligo's Ice Breath attacks, so be wary of any Guardian mains during this fight. Recluse is a great pick for Caligo with the ability to do great fire damage at range even when FP is short. By having teammates that carry fire affinity weapons, Recluse can use Magic Cocktail to whip up some devastating attacks. Iron Eye can provide range support and can consistently stagger Caligo with his ultimate art. As far as character selections go, Iron Eye may just be the absolute best for this fight. And last, Raider and Wilder can perform the same task in different ways. As a tank that can also deal great damage and has decent mobility, they can serve as a great frontline unit against Caligo. Caligo's moveset is mostly about frost. You'll want to be wary of ice breath attacks that'll cover the ground in, well, ice. Dodge away or roll through these attacks to avoid them. Another sneaky attack Caligo will try to hit you with are tail swipes. If you're positioned behind or underneath Caligo, keep an eye on the position of the tail to avoid any potential tail swipe. Next, Caligo might do his fog cover attack. Caligo will launch himself up into the air in a spiral. As he leaves the ground, a fog is generated to help him disappear from view. During this time, an ice ceiling will be formed, and then after the fog dissipates, crashes down on the arena. If you're wanting to avoid this, there is a circle right above where Caligo is standing, so run to him and stand beneath him. Last, Caligo also has a wall of ice attack. Like the fog cover, Caligo will spiral into the air and disappear into the fog. This time, waves of black energy can be seen in the fog itself. These indicate walls of ice being formed. After several seconds, Caligo disperses the fog and lets out a brutal wave of freezing mist. To avoid taking damage during this attack, stand behind the ice wall and wait for the attack to expire. Then run around the pillar remains to catch up with Caligo. When phase 2 begins, you'll see Caligo start to build up frost around him. Best course of action is to keep your distance until he's fully transitioned into his second phase. One of the attacks you may encounter is a roaring wave. Caligo will let out a massive roar, shooting forth a devastating wave of frost forward with a flap of his wings. He'll then crash back down onto the ground, letting forth a second wave with a lunge attack. Next is the spinning ice attack. Caligo will gather frost in his maw and then unleash it in a spinning attack. He'll then coat the whole battlefield. It'll leave nodules of ice crystals that after a time explode. You'll want to keep your distance from any of the ice crystals on the ground as these will build up frost. And last is the frozen flight assault. Caligo will let out a long roar before launching himself forward and up into the air. He'll begin to circle the arena, gathering stars and frost into his wings. He'll then target a single player and fly toward them, unleashing a barrage of ice crystals down onto them. He'll do this twice, crash landing and sliding on the final attack. Once stopped, he unleashes a third and final barrage of ice forward from his wings, which lasts several seconds. Keep locked onto Caligo during this fight to watch his patterns. If he's targeting you, prepare to dodge roll to the side as he comes in both times. During his final assault, everyone should be prepared to dodge into a safe area. The greatest risks during Caligo's fight are frostbite and arena hazards. To progress more easily in this fight, one of your priorities should be in minimizing frostbite buildup. Quick tip that incantations like Flame Grant Me Strength can actually remove frostbite effects. Likewise, hitting down teammates with fire affinity attacks can remove the effects as well. When fighting Caligo, keep your frontlight unit aggressive to ensure that your ranged characters stay out of trouble. Poison or rot will leave damage ticking even when Caligo is out of sight. You'll also want to ensure your team is spaced out during Caligo's Frozen Flight Assault to minimize the potential for sudden team wipeouts. Defeating Caligo will reward you with a new relic item, Knight of the Miasma. It has the following 3 perks. Frostbite in the vicinity applies Conceal on self, starting weapons have the Chilling Mist skill applied, and attack power is raised against frostbite afflicted enemies. We know you can do it. Good luck on your next expedition.